Hey, welcome, ladies. We're excited to have you join us for our weekly Fit and Flow community call. And today we are going to talk about hormones. And we're going to just touch base a little bit on, we're calling this the Hormone 101 Health Guide, right? And so
Right.
we're going to cover just some very basic elements. We're going to cover some things we can do nutritionally, a lifestyle habit wise, and things that we can do to help detoxify our body. These are some of the very basic lifestyle shifts that we can implement in order to keep our hormones in balance. And to not just keep our hormones in balance, but to feel the best we want to feel, to actually have the health we want to have. And so you'll find that as we do these weekly community calls, we're going to keep them short and sweet. And our invitation to you is to find one thing, at least just one thing that you're like, oh, maybe I used to do this, or maybe I haven't implemented this before, or this is something I need to improve upon. And just find that one thing that you feel like you're being drawn to at this point in your life. Because even though we've learned lots of the basic things we can do to help our bodies, so we hear sometimes we can hear something that we already know again, and we're at a different phase in life and we go, oh, this is what I need, or this is what I need to make some improvement on. And I'm going to focus on this one win this week. And so that's our invitation to you, is as we cover these tips on this call, pick one thing that you're going to implement from here today and focus on it this week. And we want to hear from you in the group, in the community, how that's going. Part of the success we get in shifting our habits into positive habits or implementing new things is by sharing it with others and helping each other hold each other accountable and being able to celebrate as we're moving forward. So just reminder of that. Also, just so you know, we have our weekly calls every week, our weekly community calls, but once a month, we'll actually do a master class. So you'll typically get one master class a month and then 3 community calls. A master class is one where we dive just a little bit deeper into a topic, and it might last maybe 45 minutes instead of 30. And then the weekly calls are a little bit simpler and a little bit shorter. And sometimes if we have 5 weeks in the month, we'll have an additional community call. So just wanted to kind of touch base on a couple of those things. Anything that I missed, John?
That's awesome. You got it.
Okay. So let's get started then. We're going to start with
Eating for hormone health. Okay. So these are the top tips for eating for hormone health. Many people know how important it really is to eat organic, but let me tell you, I cannot stress it enough how important it is. Your endocrine system is very sensitive to lots and lots of different chemicals, and many chemicals that come from pesticides, herbicides, fungicides affect our endocrine system in a very negative way, okay, which will wreak havoc on our hormones. Your endocrine system is in charge of your hormones. So we have to make sure that we're eating organic. What's really cool is we actually have a little list. We're going to give you guys this. And when you get this PDF, you can actually click on the list. The Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15 takes you directly to a website. It is updated every year, and it shows you the top dozen fruits and vegetables that are the most heavily sprayed. And almost every year, in fact, I haven't seen a year that it wasn't, strawberries being the top heavily sprayed food. And so we just want to make sure that you guys have a list so you can see every year which ones are the most. The cool thing is it will tell you which ones have the most and then which ones you can consume conventionally. So it gives you the Clean 15 on there as well. And just as a basis, most of the fruits and vegetables that have like a peel are typically okay to be grown conventionally. Whereas if you just are rinsing it off and eating it with the skin on it, you're probably going to get a lot more pesticides. So we want to minimize those. That's like eat organic as much as possible. If you're someone that can grow your own food, I would say that's even better. Grow your own food. That is ideal. But there are certain nutrients that we want to make sure that we're getting. So organic is the number one. But as we get into what macronutrition to eat, that's your fats, your proteins, your carbohydrates, you want to make sure they're getting healthy fats. Okay. Primarily, these healthy fats are your omega-3s and your omega-9s, and a little bit less of your omega-6s. And let me explain what those are. So omega-3s are essential fatty acids you find in things like fish, okay, fatty fish, salmon, mackerel, sardines, anchovies, if you like anchovies. Those are fatty fish that you get higher levels of omega-3 essential fatty acids. Omega-3s aren't only beneficial for balancing hormones, they're also really, really good at decreasing or mitigating your inflammation in your body. So they actually turn off inflammation. They're like the ice for the system. They cool you down. Okay, so if you're dealing with inflammatory issues as well, got to get these types of fats in. Omega-9s are essential fatty acids as well that come from other foods other than fish. So avocados have like the highest omega-9s. Those are polyunsaturated fatty acids. You can get those in olive oil as well. You'll want to add in some of these foods into your daily diet on a regular basis, like every day, okay? Not eating like a part of an avocado once a week. That's not enough. You got to make sure you're getting some of these on a daily basis if you really want to make sure that your hormones are in balance. So, yeah, healthy fats, okay? The next one is making sure that your blood sugar is balanced. And we could label this one as, cut the sugar or cut the carbs, but not all carbs are created equal. What the main thing is for balancing your hormones, and insulin is it plays a huge role in the overall, your overall metabolism. And your metabolism plays a huge role in how your endocrine system responds, okay? So we got to make sure that we have balanced. Just decrease the amount of sugars that you're eating. We all know that, but make sure you're getting enough of the complex carbohydrates. Those will also help balance out. Here's a great tip. If you were going to eat, like let's say you're going to eat a meal that you really enjoy. Like let's say you like pasta. Well, a great tip would be to find a more complex carbohydrate for the pasta. And Crystal and I were talking about this earlier. She likes zucchini noodles. That's a quick swap that you can try. Swap your pasta noodles out for zucchini noodles, because the industry wants you to just change it from a gluten food to a non-gluten food. But non-gluten pasta is still high in carbohydrate. It's still going to raise your blood sugar, and we're trying to balance blood sugar. So it has nothing to do with the gluten content. So you could swap it for a vegetable source. I like spaghetti squash. So I'll make a meat sauce with grass-fed beef or grass-fed bison. And I'll have like some onions, some peppers, and things like that in my actual sauce, right? Basil, all that kind of stuff. And I put that on top of my spaghetti squash. So I'll cook some spaghetti squash and we scrape that out. And it is absolutely delicious. I still get that comfort that I'm looking for, that I remember from when I was a child eating pasta all the time, but yet I'm not spiking my blood sugar, okay? So those are great swaps that you can use to balance out your blood sugar. And then snacking in between meals, just small, little snacks. Don't make them huge, because we just don't want it to spike and spike and spike. So snacks should be really quite small. Simple tip there, or a simple tip. Did I say tip? Simple tip there is just like a protein shake or something like that that's low in carbohydrates. There's lots of different brands. Just do a protein shake to keep the blood sugar maintained, as well as getting extra protein, which takes me to the last one, which is eating enough protein in every single meal. You guys, this is huge. And I know this is really hard for a lot of women, is making sure that they eat enough protein. Believe me, I've coached so many, hundreds and hundreds of women over the years. And when I put them on a high protein meal plan, they're always like, this is like quadruple the amount of protein that I'm used to eating. I'm like, no wonder you're not seeing the results that you want to see. Your body has to have protein. And we'll dive deeper into that on another call, why that's important for muscle and for your overall health. But for a general rule, try to get 20 to 30 grams of protein in each meal. And that includes some of those snack meals. So if you're going to go like 4 meals a day, if you did 3 full meals and then a snack meal, that'll put you roughly 120, like 120 grams of protein a day. That if you really want, that I would add another snack meal in there for another protein to get like 150 grams of protein. For the average woman, that would be great and sustainable, but that will actually help you with maintaining hormone balance. And there's some options there you can see of different protein sources. And once again, we'll go into deeper. And so yes, eat organic, get enough healthy fats, make sure you're balancing those blood sugars by getting complex carbohydrates and not too much sugar, of course, and then eating protein in every meal.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, John. In all the things that I have studied and that I'm learning even still, and that I've experienced for myself as a woman, it seems like those very basics, they're such basic things, but something that's sometimes much harder to do, right? Especially like the protein piece, or sometimes even getting the right organic fruits and vegetables. But as we make those simple changes and we focus on them, I have found that they work. And consistently, over and over, it's showing for proper hormone health and to be able to have them, be able to keep muscle and to function at our best. Really, really important. The blood sugars, the eating appropriately, getting enough protein in for sure, right? So let's talk about some lifestyle tips for healthy hormones. And these are we've just picked 4 for now. And again, probably something that you've heard before, something that you implement, something maybe just as a reminder of what's something that you can improve upon. And the first that we're going to talk about is managing stress. So last week we talked about the 7 top hormones that we address when we're looking at hormone balance. And cortisol is one of them. It's the stress hormone. And so this can create, if we have high stress, it creates kind of a domino effect of other hormone imbalances. And so the most important thing that we can do is to find something for ourselves that can help offset the daily stress that life brings. We already know that life is going to bring us stresses. It's just part of life. Some of those stresses can actually be good for us, right? So, small amounts, or can motivate us or help us in different ways. Chronic stress or extreme stress is going to throw our body off. It's going to throw our body. It's going to throw our hormones off, our nervous system off. It's going to throw off our circadian rhythm. It's going to throw off our sleep. So find something that works for you to implement on a consistent basis. And I'm going to invite you to do something first thing in the morning that sets your day off, sets your day for more success in being able to start your body off in a state of homeostasis. So one of the things that I do, and I started implementing a couple of years ago, was really dialed in on starting my day with just some meditation. And I just made it simple. I go to YouTube, I turn on a meditation, or I have a couple of different apps, like a Mind Valley app, and I just turn on a guided meditation and I listen to it. It helps me to breathe. Most of the time, they take you through breathing exercises. They have you visualize things. They may even have affirmations. And so just finding what works for you to, if you can at all, start your day off putting your body into that place of homeostasis, it will change how your day goes, right? So that's the first part. Now, there's times that I will even start my day off that way, or I don't, and I'll get partway through my day or even just a couple hours in, and I'm feeling majorly stressed or overwhelmed, and or something happens, something, happens unexpectedly, and it throws me into that state. And I will use that as a signal of, okay, this is what I'm feeling. And I'm not going to wait and just be like, oh, I'm going to go through the rest of my day and then go to sleep. And then the sleep will, take away the stress. I use that as a reminder in that moment to just take a few minutes. Sometimes I have to force myself to do it. Stop, take 5 minutes. Maybe I breathe. Maybe I listen to some affirmations. Maybe I take a short walk. Maybe I put some essential oils on and breathe them in, whatever it is. And you just take the few minutes, give yourself that gift, and it will help shift your nervous system for the rest of the day. 5 minutes, just say 5 minutes. I'm giving myself 5 minutes. Okay, the next thing is to go non-toxic. So one of the most toxic places that we have in our household is in our bathrooms, where products like lotions and skincare and deodorant and toothpaste and, cosmetics, makeup, these can create massive disruption in our endocrine system. And so you really want to get clear and checking what it is that you're using in your bathroom, shampoos, conditioners. Our skin is the largest organ. And so our pores, as they open up and we're putting these things onto our skin, it's going to absorb into our body. And so this is a very critical thing that we need to check. My invitation is check your products that you're using in your bathroom and see if there's anything that has these disrupting chemicals like BPA, parabens, dioxins, any of these kind. And if you'll notice here, we'll upload this into the weekly community calls, and we'll add this guide. And you'll see that you can click right on the link where it says, check out the EWG's Skin Deep database, if you could use some to use some guidance. So our invitation, find something that you can get rid of in your bathroom today and replace it for something non-toxic. The next thing would be to clean up your cookware. And nonstick cookware is loaded with xenoestrogens. And these chemicals mimic estrogen in the body, and they can mess up your hormones. So choosing stainless steel or ceramic cookware instead. Also, plastics can also release endocrine disrupting chemicals into your body. So swapping out plastic containers, drinking cups, shaker cups, replacing those with glass or stainless steel is also key. And then the last thing is just a reminder to get a good night's sleep. And sometimes that sounds just so so easy, right? Yeah, it can be. I have found in my work with women, there's a lot of women, especially as we age, one of the main things that gets disrupted with our hormones is sleep. We'll wake up maybe in the middle of the night, our mind going, or we'll wake up with night sweats. And this is a sign that things are changing hormonally, and might be a good time to go get our hormones tested and to really pay attention to what it is that I can do to increase a better night's sleep. So of course, doing the things that you can control, which is avoiding screen time, 1 or 2 hours before, not eating a couple of hours before you go to sleep is going to be helpful. Even getting up, starting your day with light, getting light is actually going to help you because it starts your circadian rhythm, puts your circadian rhythm in a really good place so that it affects you the rest of the day into nighttime when it's time for sleep. So all of that has an effect in helping you to be able to get the best sleep. And women, John talked about this a little bit last week, women need more sleep than men do. And so it's really critical for us to be getting to sleep at the right time, by 10:30, so that our body can detox appropriately during the night when it's supposed to. If we don't get that detox, we're not able to release and cleanse those toxins from our brain and from other areas of our body, and it will actually start to affect our hormones because we're not getting the proper detoxing. So there we go. John, you want to talk about
optimizing your detox? So when you are decreasing the amount of chemicals coming in, your body still has to make sure it's getting rid of the stuff that's in the organs. Okay. And we can't really get rid of everything in our environment. We replace our cookware. I replaced my water bottle. This is 64 ounces, and now it's stainless steel. I don't drink out of plastic. I don't eat out of plastic. I don't use a microwave. I don't, all those things. Some reason I'm still getting toxins into my body somehow. Okay. And we always will. So we need to make sure that our channels are working properly. That is part of the lymphatic system. We can go all into the lymphatic system. We could do a whole class on that. And I would love to. But make sure you're eating enough fiber. So then that channel of the body can get rid of some of the toxins out of the bowels. 25 grams of fiber per day has been kind of like the recommendation for the last 20 or 30 years. Most of that needs to come from fruits and vegetables, not just fiber from grains. It's actually easier on your system to digest fibers from apple than it is from wheat. Okay. So most of your fruits and vegetables are going to have plenty of fiber in there. If you are eating vegetables and fruits in every meal, you'll most likely get plenty. Okay. So make sure you're doing that. Minimize the amount of fiber that's coming from grain sources, and you'll do pretty good. Okay. The next one is staying hydrated. Okay. Because we got to make sure that we get those channels going too. When you don't drink enough water, your body cannot detoxify every cell. Every cell in your body, you're almost 70% water. So if you don't have enough, then your body can't do its regular cellular respiration, where it eliminates toxins. Every breath you take, you eliminate toxins. Every time you create ATP in your body, which is energy, there's a byproduct, and it comes out of your cells, and you need to be able to take that with water, okay, with water molecules, and get that out of the body as well. Recommended is to drink half of your body weight in ounces. So on here it says if you weigh 160 pounds, that's 80 ounces a day. I add another recommendation in there. If you are exercising, if it's an exercise day, for every hour that you are exercising or that you sweat, you need to add another 20 ounces of water. Because again, your body will dehydrate itself if you're also sweating and exercising vigorously. So add another extra 20. That will be plenty. And this is from mostly just water sources. I'm not saying, drink 80 ounces of Coca-Cola. That's not going to cut it. You got to make sure that this is pure, filtered water. Okay, no chlorine, no fluoride. Don't drink the tap water. That's my recommendation there. And Crystal, you'll go into sweat it out.
Yeah, so I love this one. I used to hate sweating, actually, and I have learned to actually embrace it and love it. And so this actually has an effect when you're working out versus also, and when you're in a sauna. And so I actually started incorporating some sauna work a little bit more. I already know with some of genetic testing that I've had done that my body has a more difficult time naturally detoxifying. And so I have to be doing these other ways or, implementing other very specific ways to make sure my body is detoxifying. And sweating it out is something I do at least 5 days a week. And so I'll incorporate sauna work 4 or 5 days a week, which is just going and sitting in a sauna for 20 minutes. And it's amazing what this does to help release the toxins out of your body. Now, I'm adding some additional electrolytes because of this, especially because it's summertime and I'm in a hot climate, like 107, 115 sometimes. So I'm still really getting some good sauna work in, but I'm also getting some great workouts in. And even especially when I'm starting to get a little bit more sweaty with my workouts, I just use my mind to say, I'm embracing this and this is so good for me. And it's amazing what happens is there's something almost like you get these chills and you get like this feeling that come over you, like you're doing something really good for your body. And there's just a shift. But this is a really great way to help optimize just getting some detox in, right? Just a great way. And then the last thing, and I love this too, is dry brushing. And again, this is really helpful for the lymphatic system. So not only does it exfoliate your skin and help like improve the appearance of your skin, but it stimulates that lymphatic system, which we have all throughout our body. And it's just a gentle way of stimulating that and helping to open up those channels through the lymphatic system of getting those toxins released. So, this is, we have a fun challenge that we do once or twice a year we host called the breast detox. And this is one of the things we talk about in that challenge. And we implement that in the armpits and the lymph nodes. And, we know that women as they age, they also have a higher chance of having breast issues. I've had recently one of my best friends, actually two of them that have had breast issues. And we're talking one younger than me, one a little bit older than me, and then one just 2 days ago, I found out in her 20s possible. And so using a dry brush on your body, full body, just doing it for a few minutes right before you shower is a great way of just getting natural detox and optimizing detox. So I guess my invitation is just, again, taking a look. I noticed, John, we covered a few things as far as the macronutrients. So we talked about fats, healthy fats. We talked about fiber, which is really where you increase your fruits and vegetables. We talked about even some healthy carbohydrates and your proteins. And so next week, we're going to dive in a little bit more into the nutrition piece. And so we want to invite you. Next week is an actual master class, but we're going to talk about why diets don't work and how you can actually really create that sustainable nutrition. And you'll notice when you reach level 3 in the community, there's going to be a macronutrient guide there that's going to really help you dial that in as well. So just again, to recap, getting your nutrition in, proper nutrition, incorporating some of these lifestyle habits, and then optimizing detox is going to help really kick off your body in starting to create those hormone balances. So anything else you wanted to add, John?
I just want to say, you guys, you're awesome. And please be there next week because that's like the whole diet thing is like one of my favorite topics to talk about. So you'll want to be on that masterclass next week.
Yeah. And then stay tuned in our community. We'd love to see you comment, share, ask questions. And then we're going to be adding additional things on a regular basis, tips, things that we're doing personally, John and I doing personally. So stay tuned for some of that, and we'll definitely see you in the community. But thanks for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you again next week.
That's right. See you guys.